Welcome to this explainer. Today we're untangling one of the most intense, profound paradoxes in Mahayana Buddhism. We're going to look at how a philosophy based entirely on ultimate emptiness somehow pairs up with the extreme, literal, blood-sacrificing devotion of the Bodhisattva Sadaparudita. You know, if you've ever wrestled with the idea of detachment, you've probably wondered, well, if everything is ultimately an illusion, why do anything at all? Why even care? It's a fair question. But the ancient text we are exploring today completely shatters the idea that emptiness just means doing nothing. In fact, as you'll see, it argues the exact opposite.
So let's kick things off with a massive, mind-bending riddle that drives our entire source text. It forces us to completely rethink what it means to seek the truth. Think about it. If the Buddha is truly everywhere, where does he come from? And for that matter, where does he go? It sounds like a trick question, right? But it's this exact mystery that sparks an incredible journey of physical endurance, literal demons, and ultimate sacrifice.
Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the illusion of coming, move through metaphors of emptiness, and then witness an ultimate offering, a 7-year wait, a literal blood sacrifice, and finally, the true wisdom of emptiness.
Part 1. The Illusion of Coming, Seeking the True Buddha.
Okay, we're dropping right into a fascinating dialogue where a master named Dharmodgata has to break a pretty hard truth to his deeply devoted student, Sadaparudita. The student basically wants to know the physical whereabouts of the Buddha, but he is looking for the wrong thing entirely. Dharmodgata explains it like this. Buddhas do not come from anywhere, nor do they go anywhere. The suchness of all things is Buddha. See, treating the Buddha as a physical person that moves through space, like someone walking from one town to the next, is just a fundamental misunderstanding. The ultimate truth is that the unmoving essence, the absolute reality or the suchness of all things, is the Buddha itself. You literally can't travel to find it, because there is nowhere it isn't.
Section 2. Metaphors of Emptiness. The lute, the mirage, and the sea jewels.
Now, wrapping your head around a Buddha that doesn't actually move is incredibly dense. So the text uses some brilliant analogies to help us out, starting with a traditional lute known as the kongho. What's so fascinating here is that the sound of the lute doesn't exist in any of its individual components. Think about all the parts. You've got the wooden trough, the neck, the skin covering, the strings, the stick, and even the human hands playing it. If you take the instrument apart, you are not going to find a physical sound hiding inside the wood. The sound has no point of origin, and when the playing stops, the sound doesn't pack up and go anywhere. Yet, and this is the kicker, the sound absolutely cannot exist without all these separate components coming together.
Which brings us to the core concept of dependent origination. Just like a dream or mirage of water shimmering on a really hot day, the physical manifestations we see around us are just illusions born of interacting conditions. They aren't permanent, standalone realities. The text also compares this to precious jewels in the sea. Those jewels don't travel from the north, south, east, or west to get there. They just arise because of specific conditions and the karmic merit of beings. And when those conditions cease, the phenomena simply disappear.
But here is the catch. We have to juggle two different realities at the same time. Worldly truth versus ultimate truth. In the ultimate truth, there's only the Dharmakaya, the true Buddha, pure emptiness, no coming, no going. But over in the worldly truth, well, we have physical bodies. We give gifts, we sweep floors, we feel pain. The absolute genius of this philosophy is how dramatic physical actions in our worldly realm, like doing your chores or experiencing physical pain, can perfectly coexist with the realization of ultimate emptiness.
Moving into Section 3, the ultimate offering, a devotion beyond the self.
Let's get back to the story of our student, Sadaparudita. So he just heard that all physical things are an illusion, right? Like a mirage or the sound of a lute. But instead of saying, cool, none of this matters, he decides he wants to show his immense gratitude for this teaching. To demonstrate his boundless devotion, he offers his own body to serve his teacher. And he isn't alone. Inspired by his pure dedication, 500 women, along with 500 chariots covered in 7 kinds of jewels, join him in this massive sacrifice. We are talking about handing over everything they own, their autonomy, their very lives, to the master Dharmodgata. That is serious dedication. But get a load of how the master responds. Dharmodgata actually accepts the massive offering. And that's absolutely crucial, because by accepting it, he allows his students to build immense karmic merit. But immediately after accepting it, he gives everyone and everything right back to Sadaparudita. This is a brilliant illustration of how the master values the pure, unattached intention of the worldly truth way more than the actual physical possession of the gifts. The act of letting go was the true offering, not the chariots themselves.
Section 4. 7 years of waiting. The test of endurance.
Things really ramp up here. Dharmagata retreats to his palace and enters a deep, deep state of meditation, a samadhi trance. And what does his student do? He waits. For 7 continuous years, he stands and walks outside. He does not sit down, he does not sleep, he doesn't even yield to anger or frustration. Literally 7 years. Try to wrap your head around that. He purely waits for his teacher to emerge and teach the Dharma. His mind is completely unbroken by physical fatigue because, well, he truly understands that his body is merely a combination of temporary conditions.
Section 5. Blood, Dust, and Devotion. Overcoming Mara's Illusion. Okay, we are at the climax of the story. After 7 grueling years, the teacher is finally about to wake up and emerge. This prompts a desperate rush to prepare the teaching space, to sweep the ground, lay down fresh flowers, the whole shebang. But there is a dark force trying to ruin it. Imagine being in his shoes. He needs to sweep the dirt so it doesn't fly up and dirty his master, but the evil demon Mara maliciously hides all the water in the area. Mara is trying to make Siddhaparita feel inadequate, to depress him, to stop him from settling the dust. The demon basically wants to ruin his grandest act of service and force him to give up.
Well, the demon completely underestimates this guy. Siddhaparita says, "I have lost my body countless times in past lives for nothing, but never for the Dharma." In an incredibly visceral act of sacrifice, he takes a knife, pierces his own body, and uses his own blood to sprinkle on the ground to settle the dust. It's intense, right? But he is completely undeterred by the physical pain because he knows deep down the body is ultimately an illusion. He is simply using an illusion, his physical body, to serve the ultimate truth.
And finally, Section 6. True Wisdom of Emptiness. The Synthesis of Paradox.
So, seriously, why bleed for an illusion? Why care so much about a physical, dusty floor when you know the ultimate truth is empty? The heavens themselves actually answer this. Sakra, the Lord of the heavens, is so moved by this extreme act that he praises the unwavering devotion and showers Siddhaparita with 3,000 heavenly Mandarava flowers to decorate the space. Even the heavens recognize this act not as a contradiction to emptiness, but as its ultimate expression. Because Siddhaparita understood emptiness, his mind was completely free of self-preservation and fear.
Let's put all the pieces together. Step 1. Realize the self and the physical world are illusions, just like the sound of the lute. Step 2. Detach completely from the physical body. And step 3, this is the most important one. Act with boundless, selfless devotion for the ultimate truth. Realizing the emptiness of the world does not lead to sitting around doing nothing. Rather, it empowers you to act with absolute, fearless devotion. You're no longer held back by the fear of losing yourself because you know there is no permanent self to lose in the first place.
Which leaves us with this incredible final thought. True emptiness isn't caring about nothing, it's loving the truth so much that you hold on to nothing. To truly grasp emptiness is to let go of the self entirely, making space for a devotion so profound that even a sea of illusions or the tricks of a demon cannot wash it away. So I'll leave you with this. If you knew your fears and your very body were just temporary conditions, what ultimate truth would you dedicate your life to serving?